came across a saying, a quotation really. Life laughs at you when you're unhappy. Life smiles at you when you're happy. But life salutes you when you make others happy. That's what we're here to do, right?
That's right.
We're here to make others happy.
That's right.
And we're going to do the best job that we can possibly do at it. From now until 10 o'clock, we say right now, good morning and welcome to
Up and Go.
Sounds like everybody is firing this morning on 6 cylinders. I don't know.
How about that?
All right, Jody, if you keep changing your look so often on us, we're going to start asking, who's that lady over there?
Queen is embracing.
And every time she changes, I turn it up louder and louder.
Lord, thank you for swelling up my head.
What date is it, Charles? You know you always have to help me
I
with
do.
that.
Okay, so it's the 17th.
Okay, thank you very much. Just past the halfway mark in the month of May.
Wow.
And there's still a lot to look forward to in this month.
Yeah,
there's still a lot.
So quickly. Oh
Yeah, man. What going on, Leo? You stay?
Big up. Morning, Bridge Nation. It's totally DJ Audience here.
That's right.
All right. Until we get to about 15 past 6 o'clock, we won't give them any indication as to what we have planned. But we do have some exciting things, don't we?
Yeah, man. Big things are going today.
All right. 99.1.3.5.7 and 0.9 on the FM band.
www.thebridge99fm.com.
Welcome to Up and Go. And you know it's that time when we say it's time for
WTF.
What the Fact? This morning we want to tell you that you can lose up to 30% of your taste buds during flight.
That's right.
Did you know that?
Nope.
Well, here is the fact. This might explain why airplane food, they say, gets such a bad reputation. I can attest to that. The elevation in an airplane can have a detrimental effect on our ability to taste things. According to a 2010 study conducted by Germany's Fraunhofer Institute of Building Physics, the dryness experienced at a high elevation as well as low pressure reduces the sensitivity of a person's taste buds to sweet and salty foods by about 30%. Add that dry cabin air effects, dry cabin air affects our ability to smell and our ability to taste is further reduced.
Hey.
So I'm thinking about it and it's distracting because I'm remembering the last time I had a meal up in the aircraft and so bad it kind of tasted.
Man.
It looked good. Presentation was good, but the taste was off.
Me different, you know. So me, you know, when you're in an airport, man, I shell no food. So you know when you're up in the air, hungry start slap.
So
yeah, man. When I respond, so that's said lasagna. Can't spell it, but let me shell it. We don't care.
I haven't had a good meal in an aircraft since the days of Air
Jamaica. That is, well, I think everybody can agree with that.
Last time you entered a flight and you get asked, what do you want to have, sir? You go, what do you have on the menu? You can get ackee and saltfish, curried chicken, rice and peas, vegetables.
Yeah, I really last time belly full of when Air Jamaica.
Trust me.
Man.
Yeah, man.
That's true.
And even back then, the food didn't taste as bad. I think I lost maybe 15% of my taste buds, not 30, as this WTF indicates.
Yeah.
Anyway, it is a fact with all the fun. The fact is you lose up to 30% of your taste buds during flight. So it's not every time that the food does not taste as good as you expect it to that it is because of the preparation.
Yeah.
Sometimes it has to do with, sometimes it's just your taste buds.
Yeah, that's the science.
Yeah, straight up. And you can trust the science. Time for update.
Morning again, Bridge Nation. So Twitterverse is calling out Diddy, labeling him as the worst host in history of award shows following his Billboard Music Award gig. I think that's a little bit harsh. Hosting an award show is never easy, even for seasoned professionals. Even so, it seems Diddy was not spared for his approach to hosting the 2022 Billboard Music Award, as users of Twitter laid into his time on stage. Many were upset, guys, about his self-promotion. They felt like he spent most of his time talking about his music, his son, Ciroc Vodka, everything, his business endeavors and all of that. And they were like, okay, Diddy. You know, one person say, am I watching the Billboard Music Awards or Diddy's TED Talk? please to be quiet. One fan said, while another added, P. Diddy is the worst host I've ever seen on TV. He just couldn't shut up. He won't be funny. Like, just read the prompter and get off. He was so cringe every time.
No.
I just want to make note that when you go on Twitter and you see these the harsh comments, most of them are white. I'm just saying. Most of the people are white. I made note of that. You know me.
Did he do that?
But
I
it's
guess
true.
some would say did that.
but we know, you know what you're getting when you have P. Diddy. So P. Diddy, I got promote every business we have,
and he
for
has a lot.
sure. Yeah, and he has a lot of that. So it wasn't his best, but I don't think he was the worst ever. I've seen worse.
I was about to be like, yo, what about his producer? But I just remember, whoops.
He's the president.
Whoops. Too much power.
Too much.
Yeah, I think he had too much power. Cause I feel like if you had somebody like around there, like, hey, yo,
Yeah,
I
wrap
chat
up.
too much still, bro. Like, yeah, you know.
True. But he wasn't the worst I've ever seen.
No, sir. Come
Yeah.
on.
I'm convinced that he almost missed one of his cues because he was running late, having made another
wardrobe
change. Wardrobe change, yeah.
Come on.
Okay,
Sean,
now.
we're talking, man.
You know, it's like he's putting himself together on camera
Yes.
because
Yeah.
he was really cutting it close. Anyhow, there were so many other aspects to the show that I enjoyed, so I'm kind of taking I'm not giving him too much of a beating.
No,
Yeah.
I wouldn't.
And you will learn.
And yes, exactly.
Yeah,
so maybe next time he could have somebody produce him. And as I said, most of the harsh critiques are coming from white people.
Who can do what him do.
Exactly.
Simple as that. All right, so I move on to Liquor Addy and Liquor Vibes. I mean, judging by the name, you know who's their father, the general, the legend, the teacher. So Cartel's sons say they remain skeptical about other artists in the industry, including their father's one-time protege, Popcorn. All right. I think that's a reach. But let me tell you why they said that. So as you guys may know, back in about 2015, they had their track called Radio under the moniker PG-13. In the single, Liquor Vibes and Liquor Addy, who were about 10 or 12 at the time, they were bigging up artists that they look up to, like their father, of course. And this one surprised me. They said them rate Mavado, Sean Storm, Conscience, and Version. However, the standout verse was, "Me nah lie still, me no trust Popcorn." So our very own Naro here with the fixed team, Naro stay.
Yeah.
He could have helped, but us, the duo, we still not trust Popcorn. And Liquor Vibes was the first to respond by saying, "We not trust nobody, and we not follow up people." To which Liquor Addy agreed, and they both tried to muffle their laughters. So, I mean,
Why?
Exactly.
that's a smart
What's that
response.
about?
That's a smart response.
True. So it's like they didn't single out.
Yeah, they
Popcorn.
don't
They're
single
like,
out
we don't
Poppy
trust
thing. Them just say, "I don't trust
Right.
nobody."
That's
We are
fair.
focused on our music. But yeah.
Yeah, but them never say, "Papi, I go dude still." Them just leave it right there.
They just
So-
left it. I mean, I was back in 2015, them so them need
Yeah.
to say. And no, today them just say, "Yo, listen, we don't trust nobody."
Those
Nobody.
issues would have predated them, so to speak.
Exactly.
Mind
Some of
them
them grow up
business.
on here and
Yeah.
things, so them do the right thing, in my
Yeah.
opinion. Yeah.
Well, looking at their father's demise, you can understand why they wouldn't really trust.
And the
Sure.
thing is
Anybody.
with the teacher, nobody feel like despite him circumstance, he might try to make him mute them, not really make film mistakes along the way, especially
Right.
with the career. You know what I mean? At such a
Exactly.
young age,
Yeah.
when you have question like that from Naro, just
Easy.
play it easy and play it cool and just focus on the craft. So as I said, the response, I rate this response from the duo. So good look.
All right, team different.
Team different.
One story here, Marley name pops up. Ziggy Marley says that his efforts to highlight food shortage, climate change crisis in the Horn of Africa is being sabotaged. And you'll find it interesting who he thinks might be doing that. Well, Ziggy Marley says that his efforts to shed light on the current major humanitarian and food shortage crisis, which has left millions of children in East Africa malnourished, and an appeal for help for vulnerable communities in the Horn of Africa, which are being disproportionately affected by climate change. He says those efforts are being sabotaged. It was on the 28th of March of this year, the United Nations Environment Program had revealed the urgent humanitarian assistance they said was required in the Horn of Africa, in particular parts of Somalia, Ethiopia, and Kenya, which are currently experiencing the driest conditions and hottest temperatures ever. So on Friday, Ziggy said that his posts about the catastrophe were being deleted by Instagram after he had taken to Meta CEO Mark Zuckerberg's page, urging him to take off his virtual reality and help. The 8-time Grammy winner said that as a consequence, he had resorted to sharing the affliction of East Africa on his late father's official Instagram page.
Yeah.
He says, that's Ziggy, and I quote, "I had to post this here because my copy is deleted every time I try and post it on my page. This is happening after I commented on hashtag Mark Zuckerberg's page asking him to take off his virtual reality and help in the real world. Is my page being retaliated against by the algorithm and those who monitor it? Are we not allowed to call out the billionaires who control these mediums?" Ziggy is the eldest son of Bob Marley, and those are some of the things that he said in a post. And it's rippling right across the world.
Yeah.
He's taking it seriously, and he's obviously
As
not
he
going to
should.
stop speaking about the issues down there
Yeah.
in the Horn of Africa, as he
That-
rightly should.
As
Yeah.
they should, and I understand where it's coming from when him call out Mark. You cannot be spending so much money to have persons living in a virtual world when so much is happening in the real world. You know, people need your help, and you're spending your money trying to have persons escape from reality when they should be assisting with reality and what is happening right now in different countries.
As you said.
So.
As
Yeah.
it's a system and reality, the harshest reality is how the system set up. So, I remember reading once, Richie, that there's some math that they did, that there's so many billionaires in the world that there shouldn't be world hunger.
There shouldn't be.
But the reality of the system that is in place,
Yeah.
I just want them think that maybe Mark Zuckerberg is under that. I don't know.
Your friend actually said, proved to me that X amount of money would solve the problems of hunger. And they presented him with some facts, and I don't think he has acted on it as yet.
So the math is there, but and the money is there, but something I stop it from.
There's a reluctance. Yeah.
Something. Psycho.
All right. Those are the stories making it at this time inside of...
Update.
And it's now time for...
Proverb of the day.
Let's get to
And we're
it.
getting straight to it. Never drop the bone for catch the shadow.
Never drop the bone.
For catch the shadow. That's right. I'ma feel like you're
Good
playing
word
as
of
they
advice.
really.
Sound like a good piece of advice. That's
Yes, sir. Yes. Never drop the bone for catch the shadow. Meaning, don't lose what you have because of greed for more.
See, all
See
right.
there? Right there, so.
Don't lose
So
what
yeah,
you
the
have
promise
because of greed for more.
All right.
Judging, I'm just looking over there
Okay.
to see what your response is.
Okay.
But this is so true.
Yeah.
You know, you have to be careful. Sometimes we'll have a good thing, and because of greed, we
so
lose it.
Jojo,
No,
let's
me
see what
not-
Jojo
me not say
agreed
wrong.
is.
Me not say
So
no
Jojo-
wrong. All I must say is, you have a good thing, you're greedy, lose the good thing. That's all. Be careful.
Be careful.
You're grabbing shadows.
Nah, say nothing now.
They don't. That's a pet peeve.
And by extension, don't bite off more than you can chew.
See there? See that?
That was the proverb of the day. Move into or pet peeve.
Yeah.
That's right. If you're just joining us for the first time here on the Bridge 99 FM, pet peeves are things that others do to you that you might find annoying, irritating, or even upsetting. And we have a pet peeve to share.
Girl, I have so many. People who belch on top of my line. People who can't clean surfaces properly. Oh my gosh. Curvy lines, seam in clothes, double seam. There's just too much.
Uh-huh.
I
All
don't know
right.
if that is a pet peeve
Is it
or I
a-
should have OCD because
She sounds single.
shells, that's not nice. Shells, no. Look here. No, but some little people who belt, I understand
No, the
the
belt. She started
part.
off strong.
Yeah.
I like that one.
You
That
know,
makes
you
sense.
Never, you never say excuse or nothing.
Yeah.
Cover him on it. Come on now, get yourself together.
Sometimes them get over my. Oh,
Yeah,
boss.
but no, those quick one that get out understand it. But when you just literally relax there and just on and on like the belch not even stop. The kind of vibe there.
But hold on. And it's not on the belch, you know.
We know one.
I wouldn't
The way you
that
know the
one.
next one. Bean.
You gotta be careful, man. You gotta be careful.
But she start move strong with the rest of them. So she said she not like seam. You know, close double seam.
No, double
Hey, no,
seam.
seriously. Me agree with that.
Oh,
Seam?
Yeah, man.
Oh.
Double seam?
Yeah, you know
Take
the
off that.
pants.
Nah, weird.
Yeah, but then that actually not
Late
kind-
for work because of that.
True. I can understand
Yeah,
the
man.
double seam, you know. Worse
Yeah,
if it from it, like
Yeah,
you can
okay.
really
Depend
sit
on-
and toast.
All right, so
Depend on
look like the sister, that makes sense. And the next one, she said something about not cleaning surfaces.
Well,
Ma'am,
okay.
I don't know how else to please you in
hey,
regards to wife.
from Julie go, Mom, you know, say
We're gonna wipe off somebody.
Julie
Hello.
discover another pet peeve.
Wipe it as best as we can with a bleach, ma'am. We do our best
Yeah,
here.
so we know wipe properly. I
we
did
don't
my
know what
best.
your proper is.
Yeah, I did my
we
best.
did my best over here.
I want our feel good still, so I'm gonna call you my dear lady. Today being a Tuesday, it means it's time for us to say good morning, Toronto.
Blessings. Flow 98.7. What go on? Right on Jay.
A little chilly upon this side, but yeah, today it's cold. My son asked me if Halloween's coming.
Wow, that cold? Big up man like Richie B and Shells, and I see Oddly wave his hand in the background online, just having a
Let me
good
see.
time.
Oh,
He
yeah,
kinda
yeah,
switched
yeah.
up. He was dancing, boy.
I
You
tell
see
you,
me?
I tell you.
Hey, you see me?
But wait a minute, let's talk about Oddly. I saw Oddly cleaned up nice. Did you see him in his white shirt
Sorry?
with Delano?
Sorry?
I saw Oddly.
Sorry?
You didn't see it?
No, he's
what go on?
for you.
What did you
Okay.
What she said?
Oddly cleaned up nice. I saw him on Instagram with Delano in an all white. Was it an all white party you guys went to?
Talk up you.
Oh, I'm not allowed to talk about it?
Oh, you talk about his dressing. Oh, this ain't clean up nicely. Hey.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
Why? What do you guys think I'm at?
Are we on air?
Morning, Red.
Yes, we're totally on it.
Oh, okay, all right.
Yeah, man.
Why? What does it mean in Jamaica? Does it mean
Yeah, we
something
were
else?
Sleeping Dogs
Clean
Night.
up nicely.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Clean up nicely? I don't know. Let me ask the resident
You-
Jamaican. Jay, what does
you
that
know
mean?
about it?
About what? What is going on with the inside jokes? Tell us.
Right now, Popcorn does say, why?
Okay.
Spilling the beans or something.
Woo!
I tell you.
Watch your
Oh, they
face.
thought maybe he's dressed up all nice and white, maybe at a wedding night. I don't know.
He was on a
Listen,
date?
listen.
No, he was with a bunch of
We're gonna
guys.
explain it, man.
He has an explanation. I think he was actually at a fundraiser for
man.
a selector, right?
Yeah, man.
Nice,
Yeah, man.
nice.
A lot of DJs attended that function. Me, in that pic it was me, Narity, and Delano.
Right.
Yeah, man.
Okay.
Right.
We'll find a picture that's right about now.
Yep.
Before I
Enough
forget,
big
though,
sounds.
I just want to say I actually liked when Red broke off into some patois a while ago.
So natural. I like
What
it.
was that?
Yeah, when you talk a little patois a while ago, it sounded good. I don't remember exactly what
She
you
did.
said now. After,
What did I say? No
You said
wonder
what,
Shiloh
what?
thinks we're Jamaican.
This is a wagwan.
yeah, well,
Did I?
Yeah, I think it said something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it sounded good. You must do it more often, please. Thank you.
I will.
ALJ, I like that shirt there. I feel like I'm gonna wear it go up on a date.
Yes,
I'm
yes.
taking a risk.
Yes.
You-
Professional risk
Risk
taker.
taker,
That's
yeah.
what you have to do. When you go out on these dates, you never know what's going to happen, you know. You
Hey,
get a
What
big
is
risk.
going on? I feel like, I don't know if it's the coffee, my allergies, or these lashes, but I feel like I can't understand why. Too many inside jokes.
Yes.
Oh boy. I want to, though, in a serious way, say congratulations to the little young McLean who came through as winner in the Juna Awards for the best reggae recording. 13 years of age, man. Can you
I
imagine?
know.
Yes,
Yeah.
man, that's a big deal, and he was up against some big heavy hitters, so it was
Yeah.
a big thing for him to win that. Congratulations, little guy. We got to get you on the radio, hear your story. We're going to look out and find you. So anyone know where we can find him, tell him to reach out to Ritz so we
Yeah.
can get him in the radio with Red and J Martin so we can talk about it and celebrate his victory.
And,
He's
hope,
probably at the playground.
and I hope it's done during one of our connections so we can hear from him as well.
We'll try to get him in for Friday.
Oh, okay.
Speaking of cleaning up nice,
Sorry?
let's talk about
Goes
people
back
that
there.
were at the Junos. I know you guys have to tell us. Is it? Yeah. I got to shout out DJ Charlie B. He looked amazing on the red
Yes,
carpet.
yes, they had a lot of them
I'm
on
wondering
there.
why it wasn't his date, but that's a whole nother story. Also, Kirk Diamond. Did you see Kirk
Man,
Diamond?
Kirk came in shelling.
What? I wonder who his stylist was.
Shells was his stylist.
Obviously, yeah.
Yes.
Havaya Mighty. I asked her
Yes.
what she was gonna wear.
She
Yeah.
looked great. And she
Yeah,
won.
she looked like she
Couple
was
guests
rocking
our
some
show. So we are
Versace.
very happy that they did that.
Yeah.
Next year they should have us on the red carpet, though. To be real.
Yeah.
Right.
I,
Should
I'm
have
vouching for
Red
that.
and Jay on that red carpet.
I'm vouching for that. They should really have all of us.
Yeah, come on up, bro.
They should just keep it here next year. I think they did really well at that venue.
I got
at
a
the
li-
Budweiser.
I got a little distracted because I was watching the Billboard Music Awards. It was on the same night, so I was able to just monitor what was happening by way of, stuff that was being posted,
on,
but not by way of watching because I was actually caught up with the Billboard Music Awards.
Right.
P. Diddy is getting some flack. Many people are saying he was a very poor, quote-unquote, poor host. Yeah, but some good moments, and Shensia made an appearance. It looked good and sounded good, presenting an award and delivering a really, really masterful appearance at the Billboard Music Awards, and we say big ups to her as well. And our next guest started out as young Casino. He would tap into his entrepreneurial spirit to start his own fast cash, that should be fast stash enterprise, with a concept to expand the idea into an urban music centric brand. Initially a hub for music distribution, the brand has in fact evolved into an agile urban conglomerate to include the Fatstash clothing line and the party series Fatstash Vibes. We find this brother, I suspect, maybe where he hails from in Amsterdam, and we're going to talk with him right now as we welcome Jula Fatstash to Up and Go. Morning, Jula.
Blessings, Jula.
Morning, bless up.
You are in Amsterdam?
Yeah, I'm in Amsterdam right now, yeah.
All right. How is it in Amsterdam today? The last time I passed through in transit to Dubai and back through Amsterdam, it was a beautiful day and a really wonderful airport that you have as well. What is it like up there in Amsterdam today?
Yeah, the weather is like about 25 degrees Celsius. Amsterdam is a very busy city, a lot of tourism. And yeah, it's just a fast city. Everybody's on their business. Everybody's doing their thing.
Yeah.
So you need to think fast and move fast.
Yes. You sort of play on words relating to money and cash to me, from what I've read so far. You were once young Cashino, and then you came with Fast Stash and all things related. Obviously, when you're coming up with these concepts, there's money on your mind, right?
Yeah. Well, I started off as young Casino when I was like 18 years old. And when I was about like 26 or 27, I was for a year, I was in Jamaica. When I came back, due to circumstances, I went to like prison for like 6 or 7 months. And when I came back, I was like, yo, right now I'm like I'm growing up. I don't want this childish name like Young Casino anymore, you know. So I changed my name to Jula because my government name is Julian.
Yeah.
And everybody out there calls me Jula. And I always had the company called Fatstash Enterprise. So I just changed the name to Jula Fatstash. You get me?
Fatstash it is indeed. You made your entry in the industry and you've been making your mark. We understand songs like Banger Phone, Shatta Style, which I think is fairly, your latest release, have been doing well. How well would you say songs like Shatta Style is doing for you?
Well, I actually didn't know that it was going to do so well. I just thought that like I wanted to do, because I'm 35 right now. I've been doing music for like I'm 18, and I never really had an international buzz. I had a local buzz around here in Amsterdam, but I never had like that people all around the world is playing my song on radio stations and linking me up for interviews. This is actually the first time. You get me? So I said to myself, yo, this is the last year I'm going to do music. I'm just going to release some songs to show the people what I got. And then this song, it kind of went viral. You get me? So, you know, we just keep moving.
We keep moving indeed, Jula. Now, I have to ask a question, bro. Why dancehall?
Yeah.
You know, you're way in Amsterdam. Why dancehall? What made you love dancehall in the first place?
Well, because my mother is Jamaican and my dad is Croatian. and I'm here in Amsterdam. And the time that I started making dancehall music, it was very popular. And like nowadays, like all the countries like Germany, Holland, France, all these countries in Europe got their own music genre right now. But back in the day, most of the music that was playing in the clubs was American hip hop music, or it was Jamaican dancehall music. You get me? And later it went to reggaeton and then Afro vibes. But nowadays everybody got their own genre. Like in Holland, everybody's playing Dutch rap or dancehall music. In France, everybody's playing their own France music. But back in the day, it was just pure dancehall music. So from them time there, I was just into dancehall like that. And because I got Jamaican heritage, it was easier for me,
Right. So with the kind of buzz that you're getting with these recent releases, what is your plan now? Obviously, you're not going to quit the music business. What are some of the aims and goals that you've set for yourself for the next, say, several months or a few years from now?
Well, I have a few songs coming out after this. I have a song coming out. It's called Fine Like Wine. It's gonna come out on the Grime Daily YouTube channel, and then after that, I have another song with producer Kiba and Giant King from French Guyana. He's a popular artist from, I think, French Guyana or Guadeloupe, one of these French countries. With another Shatta Style song. It's called Up. So I have some releases coming.
Okay.
Yeah, thanks, man.
You've been here in Jamaica before?
Yeah, enough time.
All right.
All
Is
not forget some me a Jamaican, not because me born in Europe.
Yeah.
Me a Europe pick me, me a Jamaica pick me, you see me?
Scene.
I hear
Just
you
like
loud
that.
and
That
clear,
is it.
Jula. Well, listen, man, we're happy to catch up with you like this. We wish you well with your career.
Yeah, man, definitely.
So you say you're getting a buzz in Holland as well, right?
Yeah. All over Europe, they're playing my songs on different radio stations.
Yeah.
People are linking me, tagging me on Instagram, all these things.
That's very, very good, man. Congratulations. For those who'd like to follow you on social media, you want to give us some handles?
Yeah, my social media, Instagram is Jula_Fatstash. Same for Snapchat and TikTok. Yeah, that is it.
That's where you find Jula Fatstash. Just before you go, Jula, it just crossed my mind. We all know that Jack Cure is in prison in Amsterdam. Was it a big story in and around Amsterdam when it happened, and even during the trial? What were people like saying and so on? What kind of reaction were you getting across that region?
No, it was not a big story at all. It was just a story in like the reggae and dancehall community or the Jamaican community. Like people know about it, but it's not like people really been talking about it. It's just like it happened today. Next week, everybody forgot about it.
It wasn't making big headlines or anything like that in Amsterdam.
It wasn't making big headlines. I didn't see it nowhere on the news. I might seen it on two Instagram blogs or something like that, but it was not a big story like that,
Got you.
Yeah.
All right, we're out of time, but thank you so much for talking with us this morning, man, and we'll definitely give you some support. Much love.
Yeah, man, bless up. Give thanks for the interview.
All right, give thanks, bro.
Give thanks.
That was Jula
Fatstash.
All right. And don't call him Fat Cash, please. That is not his name. It is Fat Stash. He didn't even say that he had a fat stash of cash.
No, humble with it.
So we don't want to massacre his name.
Yeah.
His name is Jula Fatstash. All right. Now, every now and again, Shells, we get some confidential documents popping up in our inbox or by WhatsApp or some of the means like that.
Right.
And there is a confidential document that I'm looking at now because of the level and the nature of this communication or communique. We're not able to say the sources and to highlight where it's coming from, but there's a lot happening out there in terms of public sector wages and salaries and negotiations going on and so on, and to a great extent a degree of dissatisfaction, especially as certain reviews are being undertaken by the Ministry of Finance, because a big part of what is going on in the public sector is that people feel that they're going to end up worst off in terms of their benefits and so on. They're going to be getting less. So I think by now someone in the ministry very high up, not the minister, but the communique that I'm looking at is directed to somebody just below the ministerial level. And it basically starts off by pointing out that this association wishes to register, and I'm quoting, its complete dissatisfaction with the details of the proposed public sector compensation restructuring exercise as presented by the Ministry of Finance and the Public Service. Now, this is a communique that was dated yesterday. I think by now it should be pretty much at the desk in the ministry. The second point says, we are dissatisfied with the loss of monetary and other entitlements and will outline same below. This turns out to be a 13 or 14 page document, and they have gone into all kinds of calculations, and they are basically proving to the ministry that they will be in a worse off position should the ministry proceed along the lines as proposed. And if I skip down to the end in the conclusion segment of this communique, I'll share, without highlighting, as I said, the source. Basically, it says the proposed restructuring exercise and documentation that has been provided does not indicate a justification for the removal of a significant portion of non-taxable benefits and allowances from the salary packages of these officers. I had to edit just before the word officers, right? And it closes out with, we are unsung heroes who work tirelessly to get the job done. Currently, very little encouragement is provided, whether monetary or non-monetary, to keep on moving mountains. We, therefore, implore the Ministry of Finance and the Public Service to revisit the proposed bans and to respond to our requests. This is from a confidential document with another grouping within the public sector that is definitely dissatisfied.
Oh boy!
Right, with the package, salary package, emoluments, and everything that are in fact being proposed by the ministry. There's a point in the communique that it's suggesting that before certain actions are taken, and if they take action, it could have implications for all of us in this country.
Yes.
So
the trend continues.
The trend continues. It's 5 now past the hour of 7 o'clock. All right, so initially we had told you that we would have had Senator Floyd Morris as our guest at this time. It turns out that he has become unavailable, and so we're joined by Mr. Granville Valentine of the National Workers Union, who's going to be joining us right now to have a chat with us about these same issues of what's happening with workers, wages, salaries, and so on in the public sector. Granville, good morning. How are you doing?
Morning, sir.
Morning, Richie. Morning. How are you doing?
Not too bad at all. Thank you for joining us at short notice, Granville. There's a lot happening on the industrial front, and we have been seeing it played out in various actions being taken by workers in recent days. From your reading into the situation, is this kind of action likely to continue if the ministry does not change its approach in some instances? What are you seeing on the horizon?
Well, the truth, is that the action came about by virtue of just what you did, that you spoke to, the behavior of the ministry and the way matters were being handled. Now, what we have seen since industrial action is a total change in terms of the approach. We are not here to lock down country and strike, and that's not the modern approach that we have taken for the last 20 years. And people will realize that the adversarial approaches has been, watered down greatly, but it doesn't mean that it's not a tool that we have in our army.
Yeah.
So we have seen different approaches. We have seen more respect at the table. We have seen changes, and people are now listening as a result. And we are dialoguing. As long as we are talking, and as long as there's no implementation of unpleasantries, and as long as the workers' matters are being discussed in a fair and just manner, I can assure you that we won't have that. But that depends on both sides. Eh?
Yes, it does.
We will never give up our weapon at war. No, we'll never give up that.
There seem to be some issues, though, in terms of public sector. The compensation packages being proposed. That various, I see things popping up. The same kinds of things being mentioned in a number of these instances. Is it a case of a radical overall that's being contemplated by the ministry that is causing this level of angst?
Well, to be truthful, it is a major. In fact, it's a paradigm shift to the way that public sector are compensated, right? And government workers in general. So there is some radical changes that are actually taking place. But the fact is that it must be done through negotiations. It must be done through partnership. It must be done through dialogue. If you remove that from the process, then you will end up with the type of chaotic approaches that actually transpired last week. The workers are not going to sit by and allow for the ministry or anyone to just take their rights away. These are rights that were fought for, and people died, people bled, and people, over the many, many years, sacrifices greatly for these rights.
Yes.
And these are rights that, one ought to respect. When you're changing approaches that will mean a major difference in one's life and how one is compensated, there's a duty and responsibility for you to explain, for you to communicate, and you know that you're dealing with over 100,000 people at any one time, and their family too, because their family need to know. So there is a must that you communicate, and you cannot communicate in one type of language, one level of language. It can't be the highfalutin words and explanation. You must simplify language when you are communicating with the masses, and so that you can have a broad and better understanding much quicker.
That's right.
So we are looking at all of that, and we are hoping and keeping our fingers crossed that good sense will prevail on our side. But trade union today is not. We have no reason to want to lock down country, mash up country, that undermine government. That doesn't help us. So, but we must stand up for the rights and justice of the workers. This will determine what our nation will be tomorrow. This will determine what our children will come and see. And so one needs to understand. I think some of the persons that at the helm of the government's negotiation and team doesn't understand, and is coming to understand the process better because they have never been there through changes of these sorts.
Yes.
Right. Now, greetings again, Mr. Valentine. Shell's here.
Thank you, my brother.
Greetings, sir. So, based on what you're saying, I really love what you're saying, and what you're highlighting, in terms of the fact that, nowadays, the trade union nowadays, to take action like this isn't the modern way of doing things. We much rather negotiations and dialogue, just to come towards a solution. And we can, right now, the streets, sir, I can tell that, the opinion is divided in a sense. Some people feel like the actions from the public sector is justified. Some feel like, they never have to do that, shut down the country and stuff like that. And, I hope I'm not putting you on the spot, sir, but do you believe that, their actions are justified?
Absolutely justified. I mean, if the action causes people to apologize, causes people to explain, causes people to find themselves at a place where they realize and say, look, we did wrong, you know, and changes their approach in such a quick time. It means clearly that something was wrong with the approach before. I mean, force is not the way that we'd rather, but it is a last resort. We had no alternative. Right. When a group is going to wait for 14 years, 10 years, let's take, for example, Pika. You know, Long Pika reclassification has been completed. Yeah? Years now. Yeah? Immigration officers are suffering the indignity of low wages because the Ministry of Finance has stopped us. No, so, you know, what we have seen, though, on the street is that the vast majority of persons were sympathetic with the unions and the action taken. They understand and they seek to understand better what are the concerns. So, you know, never a time the most precious commodity as water. You have a 2-day strike and you find that people were not rebelling, you know. But, you know, you have different people in our society. And you have those who believe that unions are not necessary and workers are to be treated in a particular way, unfairly and unjustly. So, you know, that's okay. Yeah. The people has a right. We will stand as a vanguard for the working class people. That's what we are for. That's what we are trained as. Yes. And we respect everyone's view.
Finally, Granville, people, and I know you keep your ears close to the streets and to the ground, so to speak. One of the things that people are asking or contemplating is whether or not there was any level of coordination between the different workers recently. We saw where the NWC came out. We saw then the NHT coming out and making their statements about, certain industrial action maybe. Civil servants were next in line. And so people were kind of feeling that there was a chain reaction as if it was a coordinated plan designed by members of the workforce. Was there any such plan being executed?
No, absolutely not. The approach by government and the Ministry of Finance in particular has frustrated people so badly that you would see the technocrats of all ages and all classes, all groupings, so frustrated that they could not wait for some action to be taken. So if there's a coordination, it was coordinated by the approach that government has taken. Surely, on my part, we don't undermine, or we don't believe that you should want to damage our economy in any way, shape, or form. So we have nothing to do with, for example, NHD. I mean, I must be clear. I'm a director in NHD, so I would never ever get involved in those type of situations. You know. It is led strictly from the frustration of the workers, you know. And look, don't believe that they're not still frustrated. This is just a gap and an opportunity that is given to government to do what is right and get the thing right. Yes. We as leaders have to take responsible approaches. So we will always seek, as long as we're talking and we're at the table, and there's reasonable time frame. But what I can tell you, the next 6 months must be very active in a positive way. Yes. Because if those things and those promises are not kept, I don't know what will happen, but it will be a worse situation. So we are being positive. Yes. We can say there is absolute respect at the table. Ourselves and Minister Nigel Clark and Dr. Wayne Jones, we are getting to some serious business. The ball is in the court of the government to ensure that the matter is dealt with in a respectful way, that the communications are clear, and that we are fair and just, and we keep our word as to the promises to the working class. So that's we'll be fine. We'll be fine. So that's the bill. For over 2 decades, we can do it again, and we will continue to do it. Because the country is first. Our country is first. And we're in search of stability in the work environment. Yes, absolutely. Right. It doesn't help anybody. Granville, thank you very, very much. You're a friend of the program and by extension a friend of the nation. Have a great day. Thank you so much. Respect, Bless you, my friend, and I will continue to do the good work.
Without a doubt.
right.
Congratulations.
Yes,
Take
bless
care.
you.
All the best. All right, that's Granville Newell, ladies and gentlemen, of the National Workers Union. Man, everybody was talking about what is going on. NWC, NHT, air traffic controllers. There was talk about civil servants coming on board.
Yeah. Yeah.
And, yeah. Okay, so Jody is Jody is telling me something that has to do with the point that we started out with on top of the hour at 7 o'clock. That very same thing you mentioned in my ears a while ago. Lord have mercy. Is an interesting development.
What's happening?
Yeah.
Jojo, run.
I was saying that the lawyers that work with the government, I don't know if they have a particular name, but they too sent a letter to the government last night, and they said that they did the calculation with what the government is, Dr. Nigel Clark is suggesting, and they're saying that we're worse off for it. So actions are, going to be taken.
The people them fed up.
All right. Thank you, Jody. All right. That's an interesting intervention, wouldn't you say?
Yep. She for intervene.
Yeah.